Story 1. Return to horror midnight mayhem on the Hudson River. As the moon cast an eerie glow over the Hudson River, I found myself aboard a boat, surrounded by darkness and the sound of water lapping against the hull. It was supposed to be a holiday escape, a peaceful journey under the stars, but little did I know that it would soon turn into a nightmare of paranoia and terror. The boat was filled with a group of strangers, all looking for a break from their daily lives. Among them was a man named Jack, whose eyes held a glint of something unsettling, a hint of malice that sent shivers down my spine. He seemed to be watching me, his gaze following my every move, a silent predator in the night. As the night wore on, strange things began to happen. Shadows danced along the riverbanks, whispering secrets that I couldn't quite make out. The air grew thick with tension, and I could sense a growing unease among my fellow passengers. It was as if we were being watched, as if unseen eyes were tracking our every move. Then, without warning, the boat came to a sudden halt. The engine sputtered and died, leaving us adrift in the darkness. Panic set in as we realized we were stranded in the middle of the river, with no sign of help in sight. Jack's smile widened, a sinister grin that sent a chill down my spine. As we huddled together, trying to make sense of our situation, a sense of dread washed over me. I could feel it in the air, a malevolent presence that seemed to be closing in on us. Whispers filled the night, echoing off the water and bouncing back to us in a haunting cacophony. And then, as if on cue, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was Jack, his eyes gleaming with madness as he advanced towards us. In that moment, I knew that our holiday escape had turned into a nightmare beyond comprehension. The true horror of our situation dawned on me, and I realized that we were not alone on the Hudson River. As I write this, I can still hear the whispers in the night, the echoes of that fateful journey that forever changed me. The Hudson River holds secrets darker than the night itself, and I can only hope that others will heed my warning and avoid the midnight mayhem that lurks within its depths. Anonymous Spectator Story. Story 2. Sinister Escape from an Abandoned Asylum. My name is Emily, and I never thought a simple holiday escape would turn into a nightmare that still haunts me to this day. It all started when my friends and I decided to explore an abandoned asylum on the outskirts of town during our spring break. Little did we know the horrors that awaited us within those decaying walls. As we entered the asylum, a chill ran down my spine, and a sense of unease settled in the pit of my stomach. The air was thick with the stench of decay, and the silence was deafening. Graffiti covered the walls, telling tales of despair and madness that once consumed the patients held within these walls. We ventured deeper into the asylum, our footsteps echoing ominously in the empty corridors. Shadows danced in the dim light, playing tricks on our minds and fueling our growing paranoia. It was as if the building itself was alive, watching our every move with malevolent intent. As we reached the lower levels, we stumbled upon a room that seemed untouched by time. Medical equipment lay scattered around, and the walls were lined with old patient records. Curiosity got the best of us, and we started sifting through the documents, uncovering the dark history of the asylum. That's when we heard it, a faint whisper echoing through the halls, sending shivers down our spines. Panic set in as we realized we were not alone in the asylum. Someone, or something, was watching us, waiting to strike. We tried to find our way out, but the corridors seemed to shift and change, leading us in circles. The whispers grew louder, taunting us with promises of doom and despair. Fear consumed us, and paranoia took hold of our minds, driving us to the brink of madness. Just when we thought all hope was lost, we stumbled upon a hidden passage that led us to freedom. We ran as if our lives depended on it, the echoes of our footsteps mingling with the sinister laughter that followed us out of the asylum. As we emerged into the light of day, relief washed over us, and we thought we had escaped the horrors of the abandoned asylum. But deep down, we knew that the nightmares would never truly leave us, haunting our dreams and feeding our paranoia. To this day, I can still hear the whispers in the dark, reminding me of the sinister escape from the abandoned asylum that changed my life forever. Anonymous Spectator Story. Story 3. Nightmare on the Hudson, The Haunting of New Year's Ferry. As the clock struck midnight on New Year's Eve, the Hudson River Ferry was bustling with excited passengers, all eager to reach Manhattan and join the festivities. I stood at the edge of the deck, the icy wind biting at my skin, watching the glittering lights of the city draw closer. Little did I know that this seemingly ordinary journey would soon descend into a nightmare of paranoia and terror. The ferry was packed with revelers, their laughter and chatter filling the air. But amidst the joyous atmosphere, I couldn't shake off a sense of unease that crept over me like a shadow. It was as if something sinister lurked beneath the surface, waiting to reveal itself. As we approached the halfway point of our journey, a thick fog rolled in, shrouding the ferry in an eerie haze. The lights of the city dimmed, and a hush fell over the passengers, a collective unease settling in their eyes. I felt a chill run down my spine, a primal instinct warning me of impending danger. Suddenly, a scream pierced the silence, sending shivers down my spine. I turned to see a young woman pointing frantically towards the water, her eyes wide with terror. Following her gaze, I saw it, a figure standing on the edge of the ferry, cloaked in darkness, its features obscured by the mist. Panic erupted among the passengers as they backed away, their faces contorted with fear. The figure began to move towards us, its steps slow and deliberate, a haunting presence that seemed to defy all reason. Whispers spread through the crowd, tales of a ghostly apparition haunting the Hudson River, seeking vengeance on those who dared to cross its path. As the figure drew closer, I could make out its twisted features, a visage of pure malevolence that sent a wave of dread through my very core. I knew then that we were not dealing with a mere spectre of the night, but something far more sinister and real. In a moment of sheer terror, the figure lunged towards us, its icy grip reaching out for the unsuspecting passengers. Chaos erupted as people scrambled to escape, their cries echoing through the fog-choked air. I felt a hand close around my arm, pulling me towards the edge of the ferry, towards the waiting abyss of the river below. With a surge of adrenaline, I broke free and stumbled back, my heart pounding in my chest. The figure loomed before me, its eyes burning with a hatred that chilled me to the bone. And then, in a final act of defiance, it vanished into the mist, leaving behind a trail of fear and paranoia in its wake. As the ferry docked in Manhattan, the passengers disembarked in a daze, their minds haunted by the events that had transpired. I looked back one last time, searching for any trace of the figure that had tormented us. But there was nothing, only the cold embrace of the river and the lingering sense of dread that clung to my soul. Anonymous Spectator Story.